Hello, it's Jimmy Chan. Your friendly neighborhood Holy Bible explainer, and my channel is Food for HNM. We're reading a new book called The Song of Songs, and you have to hold on to your hats because my interpretation will make sense. It might blow you away. You'll be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, remember that what you read about the Song of Songs is true, but there are different levels of interpretation. You can use the acronym PARDS, P-R-D-S. It's something like Peshat, Remez, Deresh, and Sod. Sod is the highest level of interpretation. So, I'm giving you the highest. But all of them at the same time. Sod is the highest, Deresh and Remez and Peshat are the lowest. But let's not compare. Low and high. Which one is better? But all levels of interpretation are true. Simultaneously. The highest level. Hold on to your hats. Song of Songs. King Solomon, he met with the Queen of Sheba. And then the reason Song of Songs was written is because some people thought that they, had sex, But she was ugly and fat. She was like a proto-Indian princess. Not a queen, a princess. What I mean, like an early Indian, like from India, boop, has a dot on her head. But she was big and fat, and then like some Indian women, she just like fell in love with King Solomon and would not leave him alone, and just kept saying, "You love me, you love me, you love me." And then she was like big and fat in the book too. "You love me, you're gonna marry me," and bothered him. So he wrote this Song of Songs to fend her off. Like, get away from me, fatso. Solomon's Song of Songs. This is the queen or princess of Sheba. See how, like, rapey she is, how forward. How unladylike, Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your love is more delightful than wine. Pleasing is the fragrance of your perfumes. Man doesn't wear perfume. Your name is like perfume poured out. But, like Indian people are sort of like that, Something like that. You're taking there like that. If you're wearing cologne, they'll call it perfume, And then you're like, I'm a man, I wear cologne, dude. And they're like, yeah, you wear perfume. Cologne. And they'll say, perfume, dude. And they'll be like, Indian people, no, you wear perfume. You just want to punch him in the face. No wonder the young women love you. Take me away with you. Let us hurry. Let the king bring me into his chambers. So you have to remember, we just read about the adulteress. King Solomon is saying, this is what the adulterous woman is like, too aggressive, She is also like too aggressive. So, King Solomon cannot like this person. She, who is, the Queen of Sheba. Princess. Friends. So these friends are, of course, like a chorus. Like when you go to church, there's a choir, They might say something funny, but because I'm young, I might not catch the funniness or subtlety. So there's like, you gotta imagine, there's like a choir of people saying this. We rejoice and delight in you. We will praise your love more than wine. And then she, again, remember, because might be a new way to understand the Song of Songs. This is the Queen of Sheba. How right they are to adore you, King Solomon. Dark am I, like who has dark skin? Indian people. Yet lovely. Daughters of Jerusalem. Like she's talking to daughters of ancient Jerusalem, not the Jews of today. I am dark like the tent of Kedar, like the tent curtains of Solomon. Like she's very aggressive, He's saying that her skin is dark like his hair. He has King Solomon must have had darker hair. Do not stare at me because I'm dark, because I'm darkened by the sun. My mother's sons were angry with me and made me take care of the vineyards. My own vineyard I had to neglect. Tell me, you whom I love, where you graze your flock. So she's saying she has a vineyard and he has sheep. Let me know where you keep your sheep and where you rest your sheep at midday. Why should I be like a veiled woman beside the flocks of your friends? So she's a sheep stealer. She's big and fat. So like she's like, I love to eat sheep meat. I'll steal some of his sheep and cook them up. Friends, the choir, if you do not know most beautiful of women, so no, she's big, fat, and ugly. Follow the tracks of the sheep and graze your young goats by the tents of the shepherds. So India did not have sheep, they had goats. And then King Solomon, he is speaking now. So King Solomon's great. I liken you, my darling, he's being very sarcastic, Queen of Sheba, to a horse. See, a mare is a female horse. Among Pharaoh's chariot horses. So, they hated Pharaoh because remember they had to be delivered from Egypt. Your cheeks. So a horse is large. So he's like, your fat cheeks are beautiful with earrings. Gross. Like some people have nose piercings. The Queen of Sheba must have had like a face piercing. Your neck with strings of jewels. So not chains. Like she wore precious jewels, but like on a string, something like this. Like which looks nicer, this or this? Of course this looks nicer than this, but a princess or prince it would all be gold, I would, but it's a little showy, it's called haughty, tacky. But imagine her, she is a princess, she thinks she's about the level of King Solomon. We're talking about royalty. Think like British royalty. Would they wear this on their neck and then like a precious jewel? It's cheap. So the Queen of Sheba, Princess of Sheba, had like cheap necklace. We will make you earrings of gold studded with silver. And then she says, while the king was at his table, my perfume spread its fragrance. My beloved is to me a sachet of myrrh, resting between my breasts. So she's kind of crude. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna. See, who has henna? There's like henna tattoos. Indian people. My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms from the vineyards of En-Gedi. Then King Solomon says, he is King Solomon. How beautiful you are. How gross you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes are doves, like birds. You have birds for your eyes. You don't have eyes. Maybe her eyes look more like birds. Bird's eyes. Like her eyes are like this. And then she said, how handsome you are, my beloved. She doesn't like him. She just wants to, she wants to insult him. And then she has fat cheeks so far. And then she wants to steal his sheep. Oh, how charming. And our bed is verdant. So King Solomon says, the beams of our house are cedars. Like, the house has to be made of strong cedar. Our rafters are firs. So he's saying something like, she's so fat that, like, if she we're walking through a house made of wood, less, what do you call it? Just strong, like solid than cedar or fir. She would like fall through the ground because she's a fatso. And then Song of Songs 2. She, Queen of Sheba. So remember, like, people thought that they might have slept together. So I think King Solomon, again, he wrote this like, no way, no, they did not sleep together. I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. And then King Solomon says, like a lily with thorns or among thorns, your speech is so sharp and like unpleasing. Is my darling, not my darling, among the young women. And then Queen of Sheba says, like an apple tree among the trees of the forest is my beloved among the young men. So she's very insulting. The king is an apple, and then the people of his kingdom, the younger ones, are men, and he's just an apple. I delight to sit in his shade and his fruit is sweet to my taste. So she wants to steal fruit too. She's a food stealer. Let him lead me to the banquet hall. let him lead me to the banquet hall. Church hour, where's the all you can eat? I'm hungry. And let his banner over me be love. Strengthen me with raisins. I need raisins. Refresh me with apples. I need apples, for I am faint. I'm hungry again with love. I love to eat. His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, give me money by the gazelles and by the does of the field. Get me to the all-you-can-eat buffet, and it's got to have raisins and apples. I'm dizzy. I need food again. Or I'm going to kill a gazelle or a deer. Do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. So, she's faint with love. Well, she's just hungry. So, she's saying, do not arouse my hunger. That means she's on the seafood diet. Do not arouse her hunger. Don't tempt her with anything that looks like food, because if she sees the food, she wants to eat because she's a fatso. Someone who's on the seafood diet, not this SEAFOOD diet. Seafood, like you see, 看到食物就 what do you eat? What is your diet? Like some people well, I'm only a vegetarian, or like some people say, no, I only eat fish, I'm on a pescatarian diet. And then she is on the seafood diet. If she sees the food, sees the food, anything she says, there's food over there. There's more food over there. She's on the seafood diet. Seafood diet. CEE space FOOD diet. So do not until it so desires, because if you see something, then you desire it, like you want it. So do not arouse her appetite, because she's on the seafood diet. Listen, my beloved, she said. Look, here he comes, leaping across the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. So she just says she's so hungry that if you don't give her food, she's going to kill a gazelle or deer. So she's also so rude. King Solomon, I'm going to kill you if you don't give me food right now, because I'm a fatso. Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing through the window. How insulting. King Solomon was a mighty warrior, like King David. King David's heir was King Solomon, so he taught him how to fight. So that is something King Solomon would never do, like hide behind a wall or like look through a window. Peering through the lattice, my beloved spoke and said to me, "Arise, my darling." So you said to me, this is what I think you said, she said, about King Solomon. "My beautiful one, come with me." I told people, hope I'm not losing you all. The Queen of Sheba is saying here, I have told people. What a dummy. When someone like spreads rumors about you, they never tell you what they said as a rumor, Here, like, she's such a fatso. She's like, I'll tell you guys what I said about King Solomon. That I said that he calls me beautiful and calls me my darling and wants me to like always go with him. And see, the winter is past, the rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth, the season of singing has come. The cooing of doves is heard in our land. The fig tree forms its early fruit. The blossoming vines spread their fragrance. Arise, come, my darling, my beautiful one, come with me. She said that King Solomon had said all of this to her in the past. Come with me. So when she's saying, King Solomon's saying, this fatso, she just came to bring me tribute, and then I did what I did, like showed my superiority, gave her gifts, and then she went home amazed at how much more superior I was. Kim does the Heavenly Father. How amazed she was, so amazed at how much more superior I was to her. And Queen of Sheba was telling people, "Oh, he likes me. We did it." And then you know what he said to me? He said this to me, and that is why, like, I know that he likes me. But King Solomon never said this. He never said this from verse 8 all the way to verse 13. Now King Solomon is speaking again. Verse 14, "My dove," she's saying, funny eyes, because remember, like, her eyes could be like this. Funny eyes in the clefts of the rock. Remember that Moshe was hidden in the rock. Moses asked, the one true God of the Lord, show me your glory. He wanted to see, he asked the Lord, the one true God, to come down from heaven, and then, like, I want to see, like, what you look like, but remember, he didn't see his face. So the one true God, like, hid him in the cleft of the rock and, like, put his hand over him to protect him from, like, what he looked like, because it's, like, shiny and powerful, many holy ones were with him. Even someone who's declaring his name, the Lord, he's compassionate and gracious. So he's, like, saying, funny eyes, don't look at me. Remember, my face cannot be seen. In the hiding places on the mountainside, show me your face. Like, show me your glory, and I'll kill you. I'll kill you, because ugly. Let me hear your voice. No, don't let me hear your voice. For your voice is sweet. No, it's not sweet. Her Queen of Sheba's voice was not sweet. It was like, wow. And your face is lovely. No, it's not lovely. See, this 15 is a reference to Samson. Samson. Samson captured all these foxes and lit their tails on fire. Catch for us the foxes. So he's like, you're fat as Samson. Not strong like Samson. No, Samson was not fat. He was big and strong. So in verse 15, she's fat Samson that ruins the vineyard. And I hope it ruins your vineyard, which, because she's crude, she could be referring to her. Yeah. Letter V. Our vineyards that are in blossom. And then the Queen of Sheba said, my beloved, you are mine and I am yours. Beloved is mine and I am his. He the king, Solomon, browses among the lilies. Like, he likes to browse among my flowers. Until the day breaks, and she's very, like, forward and nasty, and, like, what do you call it? Kind of, what I meant is, like, she's just an adulteress. So, she's a homewrecker and, kind of a, what do you call it? You have to be careful of women like this, because in the past, Delilah, we just talked about Samson, she was like a adulteress, but she was like a spy sent to kill him. She could be a big, fat, disgusting, like, princess that's sent there to kill him with grossness and, like, her smell. That sound familiar? It's like, I can smell you. And it's so bad. So maybe, like, during this whole thing, King Solomon was like, Madame, the funny eyes, and the close of the rock. Woo. And then, until the day breaks and the shadows flee, turn, my beloved, she's saying King David's son. Yeah, I don't know how I did that. Just see, I must be a P50 prophet. My beloved, remember that King David was called the man after the one true God's own heart. So she's saying, turn, King David's son, and be like a gazelle. She's saying, I'll eat you. I'll kill you, or like a young stag on the rugged hills. Song of Songs 3. All night long on my bed, I looked for the one my heart loves. I looked for him, but did not find him. I will now get up and go about the city, through its streets and squares. So this sounds like adulterous. If you watch my earlier videos, you watch the ones on both Proverbs and before it, Psalm. I will search for the one my heart loves. So I looked for him, but did not find him. Well, of course, because he's avoiding you. The watchmen found me. So watchmen are like guardians. They're like a better version of security. As they made their rounds in the city. Watchmen are not quite police. Well, I guess they could be police, because there's military, there's soldiers, and they're watchmen. So the police, King Solomon's police, found me as I was wandering around the city, probably looking for, like, chocolate. Have you seen the one my heart loves? So the Queen of Sheba, Princess of Sheba, who could be like a stink bomb assassin / princess, asked the police of ancient Jerusalem, have you seen King Solomon? Scarcely had I passed them when I found the one my heart loves. I held him and would not let him go till I had brought him to my mother's house. So she's lying, to the room of the one who conceived me. Like, she brought him to her mother's bed. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, you give me money, buy the gazelles. It's actually, give me food, I'm hungry, or I'll kill a gazelle or deer of the field. And she says, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires, because I'm hungry, I'm on the seafood diet. So once again, she's lying. She's saying that the King Solomon, they did it, and then he likes her, and then he said this to her. That's why she knows he likes her, And then she's saying that when she went out to go tour the city, she found him, and then again she took him to a house that they own and into her mother's bedroom, and they had sexes. So they had, the Queen of Sheba said that like they did it once in his palace, and then like they did it another time at their one of their homes. Who is this coming up from the wilderness like a column of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and incense, made from all the spices of the merchant? Look, it is Solomon's carriage, escorted by 60 warriors, the noblest of all Israel, ancient Israel, not modern day Israel. All of them wearing the sword, all experienced in battle, each with his sword at his side, prepared for the terrors of the night. King Solomon made for himself the carriage. So King Solomon, as a hobby, likes to do carpentry. It's called carpentry. He knows how to build things from wood. So King Solomon made his own car, sort of. It's pulled by horses. But remember, back then they did not have automobiles. They only had horse-drawn chariots or carriages. He made it of wood from Lebanon. Its posts he made of silver. Its base of gold. So King Solomon's a lot like King Jesus, the Lord Jesus. Remember, the Lord Jesus is a carpenter. King Solomon also a carpenter. Its seat was upholstered with purple, its interior inlaid with love. Daughters of Jerusalem, come out. She's like, and look, you daughters of Zion. She's like, I know you guys have money, so more free food for me. Look on King Solomon wearing a crown, the crown with which his mother crowned him on the day of his wedding, the day his heart rejoiced. Terrible. Home record. Song of Songs 4. Now King Solomon says, how beautiful you are. Nope. My darling, nope. Oh, how beautiful. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. So she had, and see her hair was like this, I don't know why, but some of the if a woman has a haircut like this, or it looks like this, and it has a split somewhere here. It's like split like this, and it's pretty much straight across. Or the split is like over here. It's like this. Usually she's hoed. So he's saying, I recognize your hoe haircut. And once again, your eyes are like this. They're like doves. Your hair is like a flock of goats. Yeah, your hair is stringy like goat hair, descending from the hills of Gilead. See, it's the opposite of Elijah. Elijah was a Gileadite, and then he was translated, right? He ascended into heaven. He was translated to heaven. He's like, your stringy hair is like a goat coming down from heaven. Your testicles are like sheep that were just shorn. Like each tooth is like a shorn sheep. Like a naked sheep come up from the washing, and like the sheep's wet. He's saying your teeth are so lousy. They're like, because sheep that just got their fleece cut off look funny, And then what if it's wet? Like, it looks kind of gross, so you have gross teeth, he's saying. Each has its twin. Not one of them is alone. So we all have like 28 to 34 teeth. She must have had like 56 to like 68 teeth. The Queen of Sheba, your lips are like a scarlet ribbon, like very thin, like thin, lousy lips. Your mouth is lovely. Nope. Your temples behind your haircut, which is like this. So like the temples here are like they're like pomegranate heads. I mean, like, she could have a fat face and like a straight haircut, and then like over here there's like two gigantic bumps for temples, and she has like eyes that are like this. Your neck is thick, fat neck, like the Tower of David. Fat neck. Built with courses of stone. On it hang 1,000 shields. So she must have like swords all over her neck. Like 1,000 swords. And it squirts. Your boobies, your breasts, are like two fawns. They're like deer. Like twin fawns of a gazelle that browse among the lilies. So he just threw that back in her face. Browse among the lilies. But what that means is her boobies are misshapen. Each boobie looks like the head of a deer. You know, like boobies are shaped like this, right? Like, well, like a deer has like horns, right? And then the head is more like this, you know, like, what I mean, it has a face like this, and yeah. So her boobie, like a breast, probably looks like this, like it probably had like a bump there, and then it went like that, and it like hung way down like this. And it went up, and there's like another bump there. Until the day breaks, and the shadows flee. Sorry, your breasts are misshapen. Each one looks like the head of a deer. And the shadows flee. I will go to the mountain of myrrh, and to the hill of incense. You are altogether beautiful, my darling. Nope, she's not beautiful. There is no flaw in you. She has many flaws. Come with me. Do not come with me from Lebanon, my bride. Come with me from Lebanon. Lebanon, descend from the crest of Amana, from the top of Senir, the summit of Hermon, from the lion's den, and the mountain haunts of leopards. So she's talking about like meat, but now he's going to scare her a little with lions and leopards. You have stolen my heart. He hates her, my sister, my bride. You have stolen my heart. With one glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your cheap necklace. Remember, her eyes are like this, so she must have like looked at him like this, and everyone was like, whoa. Then her eyes are over here, so let me glance at you. You stole my heart when you looked at me like this, because your eyes are more near the side of your head. How delightful is your love, my sister, my bride. Not delightful. How much more pleasing is your love than wine. How, when she glanced at me, I had to drink so much wine to erase the memory of her one glance forever from my head. And the fragrance of your perfume, cheap perfume, more than any spice. So she just wore like curry on her neck as perfume. Your lips drop sweetness as the honeycomb, my bride. So remember, this is the opposite. Her words are very like hurtful. So she's saying she's saying, she says things, I call it like downgrade. Like she's saying things that are downgrading. He's the king, and then she says that he's even less than the young men of his kingdom, for example. And then milk and honey are under your tongue. The fragrance of your garments, Your clothes stink. It's like the fragrance of Lebanon. You are a garden locked up. You should lock that garden up, my sister, my bride. You are a spring enclosed, a sealed fountain. Your plants are an orchard of pomegranates. So, plants are like her spies. So he's saying, like, I can see your spies in my kingdom because they all have, like, pomegranate head, like you. With choice fruits, with henna and nard. You know, I can tell because they eat your luscious fruits. They're always eating, like, raisins. With henna, they have henna tattoos, and nard, which is like a... Nard is an expensive perfume. So, nard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon. Nard, saffron, calamus, and cinnamon. Those are all, like, his things, King Solomon's. So they want, he's like, I know, Queen of Sheba, you want our nard. It's like a very expensive perfume from of theirs, is Israel, ancient Israel's perfume, with every kind of incense tree, with myrrh and aloes and all the finest spices. You are a garden fountain, a well of flowing water, streaming down from Lebanon. And then now the Queen of Sheba, Princess of Sheba, says, awake, north wind. You know, right now you hear him say something like upload or download, or there's something, they'll say something like what's the word? AC, you know, like air condition, or you have to not spill, but you have to. What's another word that's like squeal or confess? Just let me look at a thesaurus. Like synonyms for synonyms for squeal, or it's a word like you have to get it off your chest. For there's howl, shrieks, screech, yelp, shrill, squeals, admit, own up, own. I guess all of them are. You know, all of these words like make you able to smell a Jew or an Indian person, or the tahin, that vinegary smell of the Hispanic, or of Thai. You know. Or nowadays you can smell that. Like there's some weird, like, it's sort of BOE, and it smells like hair and armpit. No, like butt. I think it smells like BO, hair, armpit, and butt. That's the Jew smell, you know. And then the Indian smell smells a lot like butt, you know. And the worst one is that sour, like tahin, you know. It's like the sour smell comes from the Hispanic. So when you hear, you know, I don't voice those words because they do. You always hear it. You hear squeal. You hear own up, admit. You hear spill. All of these words make the Jew, Indian, and Hispanic and Thai people smell like fly around. So you're like, you smell it. get off one's chest. There's fess, clear. Dump, own, relieve, reveal, unload, throw off, shake off, out with it. See, all these words make you like, oh man, I smell them, dude. I smell them. Spill, tell, sling, narrate, divulge. Man, all of it, oh man, makes all of us smell them. So she's like, awake north wind and come south wind. So back then, that's like saying all of those words. So like she's saying, smell me, King Solomon. Blow on my garden, that its fragrance may spread everywhere. Let my beloved come into his garden and taste its choice fruits. Song of Songs 5, King Solomon is speaking again. He's speaking again. I have come into my garden. My sister, my bride. No, never. He will never marry her. Never allow her into his harem. Watch an earlier video. Why King Solomon had a good harem. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I have eaten my honeycomb and my honey. Say, I don't need anything from you. I've drunk my wine and my milk. And the friends, the chorus. Eat, friends, and drink. Drink your fill of love. Queen of Sheba, she's saying, I slept, but my heart was awake. Listen, you are knocking. My beloved is knocking. You said, open to me, my sister, my darling, my dove, my flawless one. My head is drenched with dew, my hair with the dampness of the night. So she's saying, King Solomon, your head has dew on it, and your hair is damp, like wet. You have your head and hair are wet. I have taken off my robe. Must I put it on again? So she's saying, King Solomon, you want to take off your clothes for me, and you want to wash your feet for me. My beloved thrust his hand through the latch opening. So she's imagining King Solomon as some kind of stalker. So she likes stalkers. My heart began to pound for him. So I arose to open the door for King Solomon, and my hand is dripped with myrrh. So she was doing something. Her hands were gross. My fingers were flowing myrrh, really gross, on the handles of the bolt. So as she tried to open, the bolt is the door handle. So when I opened the door, because I heard King Solomon knocking on my door, saying that he would come in and take off his clothes and wash his feet. But my beloved King Solomon left. He ran away. He was gone. And then my heart sank because he ran away from me. I looked for him, but did not find him. I called out. I said, King Solomon. I'm making fun of Queen of Sheba. She went, King Solomon. But he did not answer me. So you have to watch my earlier videos of Job. Like he does this prophesying, Jedi prophesying. So remember that in this poem, King Solomon, they are talking to each other. He's talking to her, the big fat fatso. So she's starting to do this Jedi prophesying, Jedi mind tricking her into being a little more decent. So the Queen of Sheba said, then I called out, and he didn't answer me. See, I'm making fun of her. And then the watchmen, King Solomon's police, found me as they were making their rounds in the city. And they beat me up. They beat my fat butt up. They bruised me because I looked like a man. They took away my cloak. Remember in one of the Rocky movies? Rocky's son, he went to school and then he got beat up and they stole his coat. So the King Solomon's police like bullied her, like, take that, you fatso, and then like, give me your coat. Those watchmen of the walls. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, if you find my beloved King Solomon, what will you tell him? Tell him I am faint with love. I'm hungry. I'm getting faint because I need more food. Friends, the choir, how is your beloved better than others? Most beautiful of women, most ugly of women. How is your beloved? How is King Solomon better than others that you so charges? So the choir is saying, you always downgrade King Solomon. You always say he's lousy, lousier than others. He is the king, The king is the best. Pardon. The Queen of Sheba's turn to speak again. My beloved King Solomon is radiant and ruddy, outstanding among 10,000. So remember, King Solomon is Jedi mind tricking her into saying nice. He's like, oh, now I'm gonna just use my Jedi powers to make you say nice things, His head is gold, purest gold. His hair is wavy and black as a raven. So now, his hair is not just dark like her skin, or I don't know. You have to look back. I don't want to look back. His eyes are like doves by the water streams. Oh, didn't work. Tried to Jedi mind trick her into saying nice stuff, and then she's like, her eyes are like this. I can't help it. I have to say that his eyes are like doves. Washed in milk, mounted like jewels. His cheeks are like the beds of spice yielding perfume. So now she's so insulting that he's got to turn up the Jedi mind tricking, Now she's like so insulting that she's saying his cheeks, because remember he said her cheeks are fat and have earrings on them. And now she's saying King Solomon's cheeks are like buttholes that fart. His lips are like lilies, flowers dripping with myrrh. So a man does not have lips like flowers. She's just probably the most insulting Indian royalty of that time when King Solomon was around, a long time ago. His arms are rods of gold set with topaz. His body is like polished ivory, decorated with lapis lazuli. His legs are pillars of marble set on bases of pure gold. So it's working again. See something nice. His appearance is like Lebanon, choice as its cedars. His mouth is sweetness itself. He is altogether lovely. This is my didn't work again. This is my beloved. This is my friend, daughters of Jerusalem. Oh, no, he does not like you, Queen of Sheba. He does not. Song of Songs 6, friends. Where has your beloved, not your beloved, gone? Remember he ran away from you? The most beautiful women. Which way did he turn? Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Which way did your beloved turn, that we may look for him with you? Nope. She, Queen of Sheba, the Princess of Sheba. My beloved has gone down to his garden, to the beds of spices, to browse in the gardens, and to gather lilies. I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine. He browses among the lilies. King Solomon says, you are as ugly, beautiful as Tirzah. my darling, as lovely as Jerusalem, as majestic as troops with banners. So women usually do not compare them with troops. Turn your eyes away from me. They overwhelm me. See, he's being funny and insulting her back at the same time. If your eyes are in the front of your head, if King Solomon says, look away, you'll look away. Do this. I don't know why, but, us Holy Bible people, we always kind of like go this way first, go right. So if King Solomon says, yes, sir, I'll go away that way there. Yes, sir. But her eyes are like this, so like, turn your eyes away from me. And then what would she do? Is like, her eyes would be like, white. So her eyes are here. Turn your eyes away from me. I mean, she gotta go make her eyes go this way. Your hair again is like goat hair descending from Gilead. Like a goat coming down from heaven. Your teeth are like those sheep that are shorn and they're like wet. You have like 64 teeth. Each has a twin, not one of them is missing. Your temples, your pomegranate temples, behind your funny straight haircut, are like the halves of a pomegranate. 60 queens there may be 60 queens, 80 concubines, and virgins beyond number. But you, my dove, bird eyes, my perfect one, you are unique. The only daughter of her mother. You must be an only child. You must be. The favorite. After they had you, they're like, oh no, we can't have another one like this. The favorite of the one. You remember? Some people will say, you're my best friend, and that person will say, I'm the only one that's your friend, and I'm your only friend. I'm your only friend. Like, she is the only and favorite daughter of her mom. The young women saw her and called her blessed. The queen and concubines praised her. Friend, so the choir, who is this that appears like the dawn? Fair as the moon, bright as the sun, majestic as the stars in procession. And then King Solomon, it's his turn. I went down to the grove of nut trees. He's saying she's cuckoo, she's nuts. To look at the new growth in the valley, to see if the vines had budded or the pomegranates were in bloom. Remember, she claims to have a vineyard, pomegranate head. Before I realized it, my desire sent me among the royal chariots of my people. So she's lying. She does not own a vineyard. Friends, come back, O Shulamite, come back, that we may gaze on you. So the Queen of Sheba, I guess a long time ago, they gave her like insulting name, Shulamite. So come back so that we may look at you. Nope, she's ugly. King Solomon, why would you gaze on the Shulamite? Don't look at the Queen of Sheba, the Shulamite. Like there's this guy here. We call him Fat Friar Tuck. See, that's like an insulting name, but remember, insult humor is in. It's not that rude. So back then, there's someone that he's outside a lot here in Honolulu. He's called Fat Friar Tuck. That's not his real name. So they came up with a name for the princess, or Queen of Sheba, Shulamite, as on the dance of Mahanaim. Song. Let's check the battery, see if there's enough battery. Whew, so funny that. It's funny. King Solomon. Not only is he wise, he's funny. He knows how to insult the fatso. Liar. That's too forward, kind of perverted. Song of Songs 7. How beautiful your sandaled feet, O prince's daughter. She has sandals on her feet. Your fat legs, your graceful legs are like jewels, the work of an artist's hands. Your navel, your belly button is a rounded goblet. She has a fat belly, full of wine. She drinks wine too much. That never lacks blended wine. Your waist is like a mound of wheat, encircled by lilies. And there's how some people have rolls of fat? She not only has rolls of fat, her waist is so fat, Not only does she have rolls, there's rolls go up and down, they're like horizontal rolls. She has these circular rolls that go around her fatness. She's so fat. She not only has rolls of fat on her belly, she has circle rolls of fat on her belly. And your boobies again, your breasts, each one looks like the head of a deer. They're misshapen, like that. You got fat neck. Verse 4. Your eyes are the pools of Heshbon by the gate of Beth Rabim. So remember, her eyes are like this, but they're like pools. So they're so round. Is she a person or a fish? You know what I mean? Human eyes are more almond shaped, more like this shape, right? So she doesn't have eyes like this. If her eyes are pools, they're more circular. She has fish eyes. Your nose, again, is like a tower. Where the tower is just like a fat. He said she had a fat neck. So you have a fat nose. Your nose is like the Tower of Lebanon, looking towards Damascus. So remember, he could see into the future. The mighty prophet. King David saw Calvary, and then King Solomon, he saw many things in the future. And then who is Damascus? Who was on the way to Damascus, but the Apostle Paul, So it's Queen of Sheba, your nose is so fat, you got a big fat nose that it would scare the Apostle Paul. And you have to remember, nothing would scare the Apostle Paul, because the Apostle Paul is probably the most scary. He's the scariest apostle, because you remember he went around trying to throw early disciples of the Lord Jesus in jail, and then he killed one person, so he called himself the chief of sinners. But he really was Darth Vader, the Apostle Paul, probably the most frightening, serious, whenever he wanted to do something, boom, you get it done, But you have to remember, right after the Lord Jesus ascended, a lot of the disciples, they spread out everywhere. And I'll tell you a super secret. You know why? Because they were always running away from the Apostle Paul. Because they knew he changed from Saul to Paul. But they didn't know. He changed so quickly. He said, everyone, I'm no longer Saul, I'm Paul. And a lot of people, a lot of the early disciples, there were probably a few hundred of them. They're I don't know, only time will tell, So we gotta run away. Here's Paul. Whoa, I'm going that way. Even though he claims to be one of us. So your nose is so fat, it would scare the Apostle Paul. Your head, your big fat head, crowns you so she has a fat head, right? But it's even fatter up here. Your fat head at the top of your head looks like a big fat crown. And your hair is tangled like royal tapestry. The king is held captive by its tresses. He's saying, it's so captivating how ugly you are. How beautiful you are, ugly. And how pleasing, how you speak. You speak like a real classy dame that naps. Nope. My love hates her. With your delights, your stature, your body is like that of a palm. The palm tree is one of the like tallest. You ever see a palm tree? The trunk is super thick, like wide and thick. Your stature is thick and wide. And again, your boobies are like clusters of fruit. Like grapes. You got grape boobies. Like they're like bunches. Grapes are like, they come in like, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of grapes, right? Cluster of grapes. So not only were her each breast like misshapen like this. I mean, like, I guess a woman's breast looks like this, and then there's like a nipple on it, right? Like hers are like hanging out like this, and then for some reason there are like two bumps like over here, like her pomegranate head. I guess that's how you know like they're her boobies. But they're all lumpy, like a cluster of grapes. Like grapes isn't. So you gotta remember, like, it looks like this, right? And you have to remember her waist like had circular like folds. So you have to remember. So like her breasts look like this, and then like there's all these bumps all over them. It look like a cluster of grapes. I said, I will climb the palm tree. I will take hold of its fruit. She said, she would say, she would say that, where she comes from, there are monkeys. Like in India, there are monkeys. So King Solomon is saying that you're a monkey. I will climb the palm tree and get fruit. I will take hold of its fruit. May your breasts forever be like grapes. Well, you can't. May your boobies forever be like grape boobies. All lumpy. On the vine, the fragrance of your breath. Very smelly. Because I guess Indian people ate apples to fix their stinky breath. And the fragrance of your breath. Like, eat apples. Queen of Sheba, your breath did eat. Oh. Bring her more apples. Don't talk to me. Give her apples. And your mouth like the best wine. And then the Queen of Sheba said, may the wine go straight to my beloved, straight to my head. 19%. Flowing gently over lips and teeth. So, she just wants to drink wine. Remember, she has a wine belly. Her belly is like big and fat. And she likes to drink wine. So she's like, wine. I like the sound of that. No. And I belong to you. He's like, I think I'm getting through to him. He said, give me apples. And talked about wine. Wine to fix my breath. I like it. Wine for me. I belong to you, and you like me. His desires for me. Come, my beloved. Let us go to the countryside. Let us spend the night in the villages. Remember, she knows that he is married, so she is what back then one would call an adulteress. Let's go early to the vineyards to see if the vines have budded, if their blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates are in bloom. She's like, one day you will get used to my pomegranate head. And then that day, and only then will I give you my love. The mandrakes send out their fragrance, and at our door is every delicacy. She's talking about food again. Both new and old, that I have stored up for you, my beloved. So she has rotten food, in her cupboard at home in India. Song of Songs 8. If only you were like to me, like a brother. Gross. So she's incestuous. Who was nursed at my brother's breast. Then if I found you outside, I would kiss you, and no one would despise me. I would lead you again and bring you to my mother's bedroom, my mother's house, she who has taught me. Oh, so your mother taught you everything you know. She even speaks like you, probably. You learned to speak from her. I would give you spiced wine to drink, the nectar of my pomegranates. His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. She repeated this. So his left arm is under my head. Someone's left is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. Left arm under her head, and right arm. Oh, you know, there's this thing where you go like this, and like you could kiss someone like this. I don't like you. Someone else could do it, but because I was in the military, I wouldn't do that if someone's face is there. So left arm under my head, and the right arm embraces me. I think that means something like this. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the king gets so angry, like off with that person's head. So if you could hug your brother like this, you know, and then your sister back then, probably not publicly, you know, you couldn't hug your own sister, like another child of your, you share the same mother. You probably could not hug her, but you know, nowadays you can hug her. You know, you hug her a little lower. You know, men you hug higher. You know, like women you hug a little lower. But back then, you know, super secret sign that if you hug someone like that, where you put their arm under their head, means you want to kill them. I mean, if you hug someone like this, that means you do not like them. So you hug people you like this. And if you hug someone like this, where the left arm is under their head, you know, you want to kill them. You look at this person. Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. Friends, the choir, who is this coming up from the wilderness, leaning on her beloved? Then the Queen of Sheba, it's her turn to speak again. Under the apple tree I roused you. So she loves apples. I mean, that just means I have bad breath, she's saying. There your mother conceived you. There she who was in labor gave you birth. Place me like a seal over your heart, like a seal on your arm. For love is as strong as death. Its jealousy unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. Many waters cannot quench love. River cannot sweep it away. If one were to give all the wealth of one's house for love, it would be utterly scorned. So she's just saying that, my people, we have bad breath. We need apples. King Solomon, we need apples. Friends, the choir, we have a little sister, and her boobies are not yet grown. What shall we do for our sister? So they're like, have bigger boobies, more misshapen, and more cluster grape-like. What shall we do for you on the day she is spoken for? They're saying she'll never get married. If she is a wall, if she's fat, she's fat. We will build towers of silver on her. That means we'll put silver all over her. The fatso. If she is a door, she's a door. Or like a dork. We will enclose her with panels of cedar. So what they're saying is like, she is a gross person. They want to like throw a tower on her and then like put her in a cage of wood. Then the Queen of Sheba, it's her turn again. Oh, she admits, I'm a wall, and my breasts My boobies are like towers. That means I have the Queen Sheba. Thus I've become in his eyes like one bringing contentment. King Solomon had a vineyard. I don't have a vineyard. I admit I don't have a vineyard. Solomon has a vineyard in Baal Haman. He let out his vineyard. He rented his vineyard to tenants. I saw his vineyard, and so I lie that I have a vineyard. Each was to bring for its fruit 1,000 shekels of silver. But my own vineyard is mine to give. The 1,000 shekels are for you, King Solomon, and 200 are for those who tend its fruit. He, King Solomon, said, "You who dwell in the gardens with friends in attendance, let me hear your voice." So the queen, princess of Sheba, come away, let us go away together. King Solomon, my beloved, son of King David, and be like a gazelle or like a young stag on the spice-laden mountains. So she wants to kill him, but she can't kill him, but she doesn't love him. She's saying she does not love him. So let's see where we are. And that is it. That is the entire song. So she admitted, okay, I'm fat. All right, I have funny boobies. Then I don't love them. I admit it. Okay, you got me. I don't have a vineyard, and I don't love them. I don't love them. Okay, so thanks for listening. That was the entire Song of Songs from chapters 1 through 8. That is the real. You heard it right here. The real Sod, higher story, interpretation. Remember, keep God, the one true God, first. Oh, it's a long one. 1 hour. 1 hour recording. And the one true God. Keep the one true God first. Not you, suckers, and believe in the Lord Jesus.